This year was just different. Like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. It was just different. I think it was kind of a learning experience. It sounds cliche, but it takes hard work to get to be number one.
1, 4, 6, 13.
I thought there was a lot of pressure from the previous season, kind of to live up to the hype that we had. And so maybe God let that get in the way. I need to play well, I need to do this, I need to do that. And I feel like I spent way too much energy on those thoughts.
I think everyone kind of got in their heads thinking that we needed to be the best, when really all we really needed to do was just play volleyball.
Kind of disappointing. I mean, I think everyone can agree with that. This is a group that had a ton of potential that just didn't end how we all kind of thought it would.
It was a very up and down season as far as trying to put a team together, just because of shoulder injuries, never knowing the status of Cam, made it an interesting year. A lot more problem solving as coaches. But again, I thought the kids responded well. I thought the kids were very team players no matter what we ended up having to do. And when we would try some different things, I have to say, they always seemed to trust us, that we knew what we were trying to do and and they were good about that.
Well, this summer was hard. Like, we really didn't have everybody together at the same time playing the same rotations we played in the season.
Okay, so we planned this stuff for the summer, then all of a sudden we find out Megan is going to be in a boot all summer, okay? And then we developed Cam as to be one of the dominating hitter for us. Season starts, we don't have Cam. Okay, now we have Megan, but we haven't had Megan all summer. And quite frankly, she's a little rusty. It takes a while to get back into shape. And it was just one of those odd things. And we had 3 girls. I didn't let them serve in the summer to try to protect their shoulders. And it was just probably one of the most weirdest things that I've had as a coach.
We had a lot of injuries, and it just seemed like that kind of maybe toyed with things a little too much.
I think that impacted us during the season because we weren't used to all playing together, and we didn't have like the practice, and we weren't used to all of each other being on the court at the same time. It was super frustrating. I just felt like if it wasn't something, it was a different thing, and I felt like none of us could get a break. I mean, I don't think our whole team was really together playing until the first game of state.
Yeah, exactly, because, all summer long she was healthy, she was looking really good all summer long. We just kept looking at each other as coaches and being like, oh man, she's good, she's looking good. I don't think anyone saw Cameron not playing in the season coming, and so when it happened, she obviously has a big block. I mean, and I think she kind of prides herself in that a little bit, which is nice. I mean, you need somebody out there, especially a middle blocker, that's gonna say, hey, you're not getting anything past me, I'm gonna stuff you. What I always liked is she gets so fired up. And some people don't like that, but sometimes that's what you need. I mean, even if it's when you're down, she was always getting fired up no matter what. Sometimes I kind of wonder if that's what we missed the most, was someone to kind of just bring it back, get excited about things.
I don't know if it was Cam or still I think that underlying pressure that they felt to the end goal. I don't know if they forgot to play every game because every game matters, or I don't know, or just the fact that something was just not quite the same on the team as far as where they were playing. Ellie is new from last year because of Cam, and not saying Ellie, I'm saying just the dynamic of the team.
Yeah, it was definitely a perfect storm. You mix the pressure with the injuries that we had and not being able to play together, and just the pressure was definitely the worst part, I think.
I always have fun playing volleyball because it's just a great sport, but this year was definitely a lot more like pressure on us, and I worried a lot more.
I'm not quite sure if it was a self-inflicted pressure thing, or maybe, I mean, it could be environmental too, so who knows.
I think it was both. I think they knew because of how they did, and there was probably some talk that they'd heard, and then they just put all of the pieces together, the pressure and how they wanted to kind of make up for last year's loss, and the media and friends, whoever, family, everyone had those expectations. So coming from all directions, I'm sure they did feel the magnitude of it.
I'm sure it was inside their heads, and I think it was inside of some of my coaches' heads too, and my head too. I mean, you're always thinking about that, you know.
People from the community saying like, "Oh, you guys should be good this year." Like, win state. Like, yeah.
Last year we played fearless, and this year we played like don't mess up, don't, you know, and I don't even know why. I think we all felt the pressure, and we just kind of let it get to us at points, so.
Yeah, I'd rather just like play our game and not have everybody have an opinion on it. Last year, we had no pressure on us. Like, if we lost, we lost, and if we won, we won.
Oh no, this was much, much more difficult this year. I felt like at the beginning of the season, it was just, we had way too many hard games in a row. We couldn't even recover from them. Now, you talk about a basketball game, it only lasts so many minutes, but in volleyball, like in a tournament, you play 3 games in one day. And volleyball's a little bit like football, where you go all out and then you got a little break. You go all out, you got a little break. You can't pace yourself up and down the floor like basketball, even though it's more cardiovascular, of course. But there's a recovery period that we just did not get.
Caitlin Meyer, she is a beast, so we just had to contain her.
Yeah, in some ways, when you have a team that has one big star like that, that's almost easier than you have a team full of athletes, because they have to rely on her, and it's easy to pinpoint her. As other teams pinpoint Megan, Lakeland Lutheran's the same way. We have an easier time against Lakeland Lutheran than we do some of the other teams, just because we know where the ball's going to go. So in that respect, we didn't. Also, knowing Superior playing a C2 schedule that they play, they did not play fast. And that kind of helps us also.
We knew like they'd be really good because I mean they won state last year in C2, and like they had everybody coming back too. So I think we just wanted to go out there and like prove a point.
There was a lot of hype for that game because they were the C2 champions, we were runner-up, so we knew it was a game that we kind of had to win and kind of to keep our rep.
Caitlin Meyer, oh my gosh, Nebraska recruit, and her sister Shayna, oh my gosh, heck of a player. She's gonna go places, and I just remember like seeing them, like they are huge girls, like super intimidating. I just feel like as a team we stuck together, and I feel like we really powered through, and like having that first win in that season was very like liberating. Like, oh yeah, we can do this, we can do this.
Let me tell you, her little sister is every bit as good a volleyball player as she is, and it took only about maybe 4 points to figure that out. But oh wow, we're gonna have to really watch out for this girl too.
Yeah, I think this Superior win gave us a lot of confidence and kind of a good start to the season. I was planning on playing, but then that's when my arthritis kicked in and I couldn't walk, and then my face broke out in hives and I went home with like 103 fever. Well, I was being petty, I know that, because she wanted to go somewhere like not in Grand Island, more advanced, where they knew more about medical stuff and whatever, and I would just not do it. Like, I was like, I don't want to miss any more season. I've missed so much, and I did not want to miss much, and I just broke down.
I think she just wanted to play really bad. She felt like she was letting everyone down because she wasn't playing, but she couldn't have done anything about it.
It's disappointing. I mean, not that it's not anyone's fault, obviously, but it's just kind of disappointing because You think of like what could have been, and oh man, I feel for her. That's rough. I mean, senior season, and like you said, she had been putting in the work. She had been doing well. She was confident. She was becoming that senior leader that you need to be. She was set to have an all-star senior season, so very unfortunate for her and us. Oh man, poor Megan. I mean, her grandpa passes away I think the night before. So she's just a mess, and rightfully so. I mean, that's terrible. It sucks going through stuff like that. So, I mean, she's just kind of emotionally drained, and like I said, understandable. And then in between the games, we have another grandparent. They had to call the unit for her because they thought she was having a stroke in the stands. And of course, it happens to be Lauren and Cameron's grandma. So it's like, oh, let's just add another two to this pile of, emotional distress that we're going through today. So that was really fun. Not.
I just remember she was just bawling in the locker room, and we're all just trying to comfort her. And it's just really hard to try to stay positive and focus on the game.
And I think for anybody that would be a hard day, but if you have to play 2 volleyball matches against great teams, it's gonna be even harder.
It's just hard to play with a heavy heart, so yeah. The whole time they were just pumping me up the whole day, and couldn't ask for better people to play with, so it was nice. And yeah, Concordia was a tough match, and then to turn around and play Lutheran, it was tough, and I think we knew it would be tough, but if you knew my grandpa, he would have wanted me to play, so it was kind of just one of those things, kind of playing for him, so it was nice.
So we had some emotional family issues, and that happens. The timing was really bad, but those things it's a learning process for the kids too, and it was a grieving process.
Yeah, it was tough, but like you said, we're GICC. You kind of expect certain things at a time now. So those were tough games, but man, for all of factors involved in that first tournament playing Lutheran, we gave them a heck of a run still, battling Megan's grandpa and Cam, just everything, that wasn't a good weekend, and we still competed. And I wish they would have known how hard that is, and that they did it, and just trust that they can do it.
And the Concordia game was awesome. Oh my gosh, we came back holy moly, I honestly don't know that I thought that was gonna happen at that point in time. It was not looking amazing there for a while, so that was really cool to see. I mean, I think Avery really turned it on. It was she was unstoppable. It was awesome.
I think that was really cool. The two teams, we kind of just put aside our differences and our rivalries or whatever, and we came together because at the end of the day, sports aren't everything, and there's more to life. And so I think that was a great lesson that we all kind of learned there.
So I personally thought that was pretty cool for them to kind of, bring everyone into a circle and say, hey, we know things are going on, we're praying for you. We just hope that everything's, okay from here on out.
So it did kind of surprise me, especially because of the dynamic between our teams, that we're both pretty competitive with each other. I mean, it's a class act, so that's cool.
I don't think I was surprised, just because I know a bunch of them. I know they're really good people, and I know they know volleyball is just more than a game. They care about people, and they genuinely really do. And it was really nice. I don't know, I felt like we all needed that moment.
It was a long 2 weeks in the beginning. I think that took a lot out of everyone.
When you do as well as we had done the year before, people really are aiming for you. You really have more of a target. Central Catholic has a target anyway, but then, so you think of that. Everybody really prepares for you. The interesting thing, the first part of the season when I was using so many kids, I was subbing so much, I was running out of rotations. So I had to figure out somehow I need to sub less So some people are going to have to be able to serve for themselves, because I can't be running out of subs, because then all of a sudden I'm mapping out instead of focusing on the game. I'm trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to get through this?
So we, really got thrown into that new rotation right away with Ellie, and that's tough.
I think it worked to their disadvantage, that not have Cam and always be under that pressure, because I hate to put a freshman in that position, because you just don't want them to fail. Had I had Cam, we would have more comfortable, things would have been more comfortable, and I could have got them better experience.
I think we tried to let it not seem like it was going to be that big of a deal. We just kind of were like, hey, well, we've got a replacement. We'll have Ellie come in. She can, she's a great blocker. Great blocker, probably one of our better ones on the team. And so, we just kind of tried to let it flow that way and not really, make it such a big deal. Because I think when you do make it a big deal like that, it really comes across that way, and the girls probably pick up on it a lot more than what we think.
I thought definitely Ellie Stenson was a big surprise to people this year. And I think she just, that confidence that you get, like the first time you have like a good game and you're just like, wow, like I can do this. So I thought she really stepped up this year.
Yeah, I think Ellie did really good.
Oh, Ellie stepped up in big moments. Yeah, she has a good block.
That a girl. She did great. I just, as nervous as she may have been, I think she got comfortable, and I think her teammates can be credited for some of that too, welcoming her in, but she did great.
I think Lauren and Ellie really had to be kind of thrown in there, They, especially Ellie, she had not had much varsity experience, but she stepped in and did a great job. I think the girls really helped her out too, and that was great to see. That was a really positive thing, that they kind of all came together and just said, hey, we're gonna, whatever she needs, we're gonna help her out. And then Lauren too, I think she finally realized the player that she can be. She's extremely athletic, and she was diving all over the place by the end of the year, so it was really cool to see her kind of step into that role too.
Jenna Heidelk came in and did a lot of really nice serving, and she hasn't had a lot of volleyball experience, but she was one of the kids that I felt, she surprised me how good she was. The win at Blue Hill was quite amazing, that fifth set, and then Blue Hill ends up winning Class C2. They beat, I believe they're the ones that beat Superior. Anyway, they had an amazing run at state tournament, and the rest of the year they had some really good athletes. And we found ourselves down again. We didn't match up really well with some of their athleticism, and quite frankly, we were by far technically the better team. Somehow the officials didn't quite figure that out, and not much was called. It was pretty a loose game, and so kind of frustrated. Our kids got a little frustrated on some of that, but we survived.
Oh, yeah. St. Cecilia. Oh no.
Oh yeah, definitely. They were Achilles' heel, and that's probably the losses that hurt the most. And I would guess every one of my coaches would say that, and I would guess my players would say that too.
St. Cecilia, that was pretty bad.
Yeah, and I don't know why.
Like I said, you can look at all the stats in the world, whatever, man, that mental block got them there.
We didn't match up very well. Okay, they have a huge outside hitter. We weren't doing much to not let her get the ball. And we're a little bit short on that right side pin. That's just the way we are. And Kate and Katie, 5'6", 5'8", against a 6-foot gal, are just not going to come out ahead. And so also not having Cam also really shortened us down.
It was really frustrating. I actually remember I had my laptop and I was watching it, and my mom was watching on her iPad, and I ended up just closing my laptop, and I had to leave, and I had to walk around the hotel. I was like, this is not GICC volleyball. I was like, I know we're so much more better than this. Like, I don't even know who that was.
It wasn't what St. Cecilia did so much as our performance wasn't up to par.
Well, we didn't really have time to be mad at ourselves because we played Lincoln Christian right after that. But I just remember like being on the court and I'm like, what is happening?
You gotta move on from it, learn from it, and do better next time. And that's what we tried to do most of the time.
We played really well the next game. Again, getting off the bus, playing the first game, sometimes I think we weren't mentally ready, we weren't physically ready. Yeah, we just had a lot of hard games in a row, and the kids, not only do they need physical recovery, sometimes they need some mental recovery also.
Yeah, we just kind of calmed down and played, and we all kind of just did what we needed to do to get it done.
I was having a lot of fun. Like during our winning streak, it felt normal.
I thought that was a good run. A lot of those matches were close though, so it kind of felt like we were like a step behind though each match. So we were kind of still building, kind of still finding our peak.
You know, they won, but they should have won those games. So it was good for all of those reasons. At least they didn't let their game down. And so that was a good stretch. Absolutely, you can't take anything from that. But something was missing in that fire with them still.
I think there was a lot of, I guess, fear of losing, fear of disappointing people, fear of, disappointing yourself, fear of failing. And that's one thing in volleyball you can't have. You can't be fearful, otherwise you're just not going to play the way that you should or could. You're not going to play to your full potential. And it's not going to be as fun. And I think that was kind of evident this year. I mean, we just kind of had that, walking on eggshells type of thing. Like I said before, it was just, you never knew what was going to happen on any given night. So,
Well, I kept in the back of my mind thinking, okay, we'll have Cam by conference. I kept thinking we were going to have her back by then. So as a coach, I'm thinking, yeah, we're doing everything we can do. right now, and we're going to get better.
Our conference is probably one of the hardest in the state because every single team has made it to state and placed at state for the past, I don't even know how many years.
There's so many great teams. There's, St. Cecilia, SCOTUS, us, Lincoln Lutheran, just some top-notch teams. It's a good glimpse of what we're gonna get at state and the good teams that are gonna be there, so it helps us a lot.
It's pretty much a mini state tournament. That's what everyone says. So
I didn't know what to think at that point of the season. That conference is so tough that you got to take it game by game, and you better be ready even if you got the 10th team of the conference. You better be ready because it's so competitive. I don't care how good of an athlete you are. At some point you're going to get where everybody's going to start matching up with you, whether it's your college or maybe when you're a freshman in high school. All of a sudden people match up with you. And so I tell them it's how hard you work day by day, not how hard you work in one season. But it's a lifestyle of work that you're trying to establish.
Kind of what we tell them at practice, you come into the gym, everything gets left at the doorway. You got to clear your mind. It's tough, it's not easy, but you have to be a completely different person when you step into that gym, whether it be practice or a game. So I think I'm gonna go back to that word, pressure. I don't know, like I said, I don't know who it came from, whatever, and I'm not pointing fingers at anybody by any means because it could have came from me. But it seemed like they were almost walking on eggshells sometimes, and it was every game we went into, it was kind of ooh, well, what team's gonna show up tonight?
There's still just something was missing. We're like, what is it? Where is this team that we know is somewhere hidden in there right now? That fire, that something. I think we played really well against SCOTUS, and you got a hint of it. And Blue Hill showed some fight that you're like, okay, see, you pushed through 5 sets. You got backs against the wall, and you responded. Might not have been the prettiest, but they were a great team, and you won. And then you think, use that. But something just still, I don't know if they just felt that pressure in the background the whole time that they just didn't let loose.
I think last year they kind of had a sense of we're better than you, we're gonna beat you, sorry, not sorry. So I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't think we had the same excitement. It just felt a lot different, the atmosphere and everything.
Just battled that same thing, just battled it all year. Instead of just letting loose and having fun and saying, hey, we've been here with a little swagger going into every game saying, okay, well, we beat you last year, we're going to again.
We tried to I don't know, we just tried to force it on the court sometimes and it didn't work, but we knew something was off and we just didn't know how to fix it.
Probably when Cameron got back was when we had our best rotations in and when we played our best.
They really do not like to lose to Lincoln Lutheran and Mariah Bus. So I think they kind of use that as fuel, which that's great. I mean, more power to them. That's what I would do too if I didn't particularly care for a player. I want to beat you. I mean, I don't want to lose to you. That's for darn sure. So yeah, it seemed like they were pretty intense. They were ready to play and they wanted it. I mean, you could tell they wanted it.
We came in there wanting blood. We lost to them on that awful day, And I feel like all of us are like, all right, we're gonna come on this court and we're gonna win. Like, we are just gonna leave it all on the court no matter what it takes, and we're gonna do whatever it takes to win, because we can do this. Yeah, we dropped that first set, and I feel like once we got in a huddle, and I feel like one of the coaches was like, guys, you can do this. And I feel like that really, like, it's funny how the littlest words from a coach can do so much for like your mentality. And I just feel like we got on there in the second set and we just were like, all right, let's do this.
It just took a little while to click, and that's what we did in that game. And even if not everyone had their best game, but we still everyone found a way to contribute to be a part of the team and make that possible.
I think it was a great one. I mean, to come back from being 1-0 and it's just really fun getting to play. It was one of the funnest matches of the year, I think.
Yeah, I feel like we always start kind of slow, and then we're the comeback people, and usually it works out.
The energy wasn't there. We weren't playing good. We weren't meshing well.
I just remember the girls coming together and we can do this, we're fine. There's still a lot of game left.
And we put Cam on their hitter, on Bus. And I felt like we bothered Bus. We get a couple blocks on her. And I just think we can get in their heads. And I thought we got in their heads.
Yeah, I definitely felt a little slow and definitely not in shape because I was dying. Literally, I couldn't breathe.
We really stepped it up and we started playing more as a team, and it was just a great experience, and we were kind of unstoppable that game.
Lutheran, that was a huge game for us. And I think that just kind of showed us we can play with the top dogs.
Honestly, I think that was probably our best win of the season. That was the most exciting, most fun win that we had all season in my book. So they're a great team. I mean, it's always fun to beat them, and it's kind of funny. I always like when the news team or the news stations or whatever, they're always interviewing Sharon. They're like, Coach, you guys seem to be the only ones that kind of have Lincoln Lutheran's card. How do you do it? And she's just like, I don't know, we just win. They just don't like to lose to them. And so, I mean, that's kind of how it is, though. I mean, it's almost like we were not in the same category as St. Cecilia, obviously, but we were always kind of Lincoln Lutheran's Achilles heel. I mean, they've had troubles with us the last 2 years, so it's been pretty cool. I always enjoy beating them too, so.
I think it was definitely a big momentum. We were able to push forward that game. We're okay, we can win conference. We've always gotten third every single year. We can do a lot better than third now.
I have to admit, it did surprise me a little bit. I was very pleased. I thought, okay, here we go. We're going good, and then we need to eat. Oh my gosh, I always feel like after we eat, we never play quite as well. But you need to let the kids eat too.
Yeah, I feel like we were focused more on Lincoln Lutheran, and so we didn't really look out for Bishop Newman, and that came to bite us.
Well, we knew that they were pretty well stacked. I mean, they were a balanced team. They really didn't have too many weaknesses. We knew that their one outside was pretty good. I don't think that she had been as good as what she was against us that game, from what I've heard from very reliable sources.
And she was unstoppable that game. She just, oh my gosh. And even someone said they have never seen her hit like that.
So that was, of course, unfortunate that happened during our game with them.
They were just the better team that night, and we, of course, left all of our stuff with Lincoln Lutheran. And it was just hard to bounce back and just have another super tough game.
They had so many tall girls that they could hit right over us, and then they were so good that we couldn't like pass it up to right to the setter, and then that caused like not a good hit, and then yeah.
I don't think we like expected them to be that good. We knew they had like the good hitter, but we didn't think they'd be that good. And they ran like a really fast tempo, and that kind of screwed us up.
I think their speed surprised us a little bit. I just remember always feeling like, man, we're just not playing very well. Man, we're just slow. And then when I looked at it, I remember looking at it on tape, we actually played better than what I was seeing. But again, their speed really bothered us.
I think part of it was that we just didn't have our guard up quite as much because we prepared so much for that Lincoln Lutheran game. But they played pretty darn good. I mean, the level that they played at surprised me. Didn't know it was going to be a good game, of course. They had a lot of returning, and they're just a very balanced team. Their outside just killed. And that just shows leader right there. I mean, when you respond in those big games, good for her, because we kind of froze a little bit once we started getting a little bit of pressure on us again.
I remember we were definitely playing a different defense that we didn't like as much, and we knew we were better at the other defense. And then just Chada, like I've never seen her play that good, and I think, I don't know, it was annoying because she just got everything. She got every ball and she got every kill, and it was annoying.
We changed our defense. We started out, I think, playing rotational, and then we went back to our what we had played last year, and that seemed to work better for us.
I think it just like didn't make sense because Jenna was taking like 3/4 of the court, and then like the man back only had like the line, so it just didn't cover as much court.
You know, I think as coaches we thought that was going to be a little bit easier for the girls, but for some reason they just really preferred the other defense that we had stayed in, and that, I mean, that was a learning curve for us too. So I think after that game, I think we switched right back. I don't think we took much time to say, all right, well, they do a little better in this one. We're just going to keep them in that one.
I think they were being told too many different things, and and as coaching staff, we needed to just set it and let them play. And they got to figure it out. Because if you're telling them something every single time, then it's not going to work. Because then they're thinking too much. They have to read.
It was such a big win, and I think that kind of hurt us going into that second game, or that third game, I guess, with Newman, because you get so up for those games, and you gotta kind of, ooh, shoot. Like, we just use a lot of our energy, both physically and mentally, because it was a great win. They're a great team. I mean, they were them and Wahoo all year, getting all the attention. So, see, girls, look what you did. You can do it.
I don't know how many years you could look back where the Centennial Conference state champion was from our conference and they didn't win the conference. I mean, it happens all the time.
I just know that we've never played, like our team has never played good in that before, and we won the first match against Lincoln Lutheran, and that was a really good match. We all played really well together, but the second match wasn't very good.
We had a lot of different combinations. I mean, she'd move me to outside, and then she'd move me to middle, and then Lauren would be playing outside, and Ellie would be playing middle. It was just a bunch of different types of combinations to see what would work because someone was always out.
So it's hard sometimes when we had to switch players in and out all the time, but we worked well with what we had. We had really bad serving that game, and we were really tired from the game before, but that's no excuse. We just didn't play very well altogether.
Well, I've always said that volleyball is kind of like two coaches, and it would be like players hanging on a cliff. Who's going to let go first? Because I've said this time and time again, it's not supposed to be easy. It's just not going to be. Even when you're playing a team that you think you're going to, everybody gives you a problem, is what I tell the girls. And you got to figure out how to solve the problem.
It was very frustrating to just know that we have so much potential to play well and beat this team, and we just couldn't get up for it, and it was just bad.
Volleyball can just change so quickly. Like, if a team gets on a run, then they have all the momentum, and that's what Bishop Newman did.
Honestly, I don't really know that it was the people that were stepping into like new roles. What I thought was more the seasoned players needed to kind of step up and say, hey, this is what we need to do. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to help each other out. And, you know, be the leader that you know you can be. So I figured, you know, as long as those girls could step up and do that, we'd have a pretty good shot at making it.
You never know going into it. Like, I feel like any team that plays us is going to play their best. Like, it's always going to be a great match of volleyball, and any given night, you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's always nice that they know who we are and they want to beat us and that we're the good team. But then it always sucks because everyone has to bring their A game and everyone always plays amazing against us.
There's nothing you can do about that, but we had many teams though say, no, that was our best game of the year.
We had good momentum, but we didn't play the toughest competition, so I felt like, I don't know, I just didn't know what was going to happen. We have a rhythm, but we don't have a great rhythm. Emotional roller coaster, that's what it was.
I think it felt more like a roller coaster just because we never knew who was going to be out, who was sick. It always felt like something was going wrong, and it was really hard to just like have a steady basis through it because we just never knew what was going to happen. But towards the end, I thought it got better since we got Cameron back. So,
like, that was very lifting, like, spiritually, because we've had some tough losses in the past. Like, we've all felt like, hey, this isn't really the same. But those wins really, I felt like it really lifted us up as a team. And going into subs, like, it boosted our confidence.
Yeah, that was we had a good couple of games, good winning streak there, and the game we played really well together. Good to just play together and win.
I definitely felt like I was getting a lot stronger from my sickness that I had. I was feeling more myself, and that I was able to play volleyball. I was able to move better, and I didn't feel as tired. Like a week before senior night was when I landed and completely messed up my ankle in every way you could think of. I just remember I started crying. I was like, I know this isn't a roll. Like, I definitely felt something other than a roll. I was like, this is gonna be a thing where I'm out again. I'm gonna lose my mojo or whatever, and I was so frustrated.
Yeah, I felt really bad because it's always her.
Well, you know, we were really pushing for senior night because I definitely wanted to play my last home game, but like after going to PT, like I knew it wasn't possible. I could barely walk normally. I just got off crutches. I was like, it's not possible. So we were just pushing for district finals, and that didn't work out either. So then state.
We're back at Grand Island Senior High School getting ready for the matchup tonight between Grand Island Central Catholic and the Patriots of Adams Central. The Crusaders came in as the top seed in the C19 sub-district, 27-4 on the regular season. Adams Central is one game below 500 after they downed Gibbon in straight sets earlier tonight. The Crusaders have put together another impressive season after getting all the way to the C1 finals last year. They have high hopes this year, but you got to take care of your business here first, and that's what their plan is tonight. Free ball chance here for Central Catholic off the tough serve. Major sets the middle, big explosion by Woods, takes that all the way to the back line, but the Patriots were ready. Back row attack, dug out nicely. Tip by Major. Patriots scramble to keep the ball off the floor. Lanowski's drive is picked off. Major sets left side. Woods the hammer. Lanowski with a great dig along the back row. Patriots deflected over. Chance out of the middle. Calvota's hammer hit back over. Major is able to get that one. In essence, turned into an overpass, and Major was there to put it away for her first. Patriots back set. Samuelson takes a hard angle. McFarland was ready. Center attack coming for Allie Calvota. Patriots with a nice reply along the back line. Little offline hit. Got over for the Patriots, but McFarland drives it right back over. Samuelson tries it again. Sends that one sailing over the end line at Grand Island Central Catholic. Puts it away in short order in the first set. They take the first 25-13. Game 2 when we return. Set out of the middle. Good cover there. Steenson smothers again. You can tell that with Cam Willman's sideline that they've made some lineup adjustments, but Steenson has really come in and done a great job. And then you add a solid serving game. And the Crusaders have stayed aggressive all night. There's another ace serve for Avery Calvota, her second. It's a 7-0 lead. The Patriots try to change gears on the attack. Hannah Crable tried to come off the left side, couldn't do it. It's an 8-0 start. And Twyla Nehance didn't want to, but calls an early timeout. Timeout on the floor. The Crusaders on cruise control right now, leading 8-0 here in the third, up in the match 2-0.
Yeah, I thought we played pretty well, and I thought Adams Central played very, very hard. I felt like when we play Adams Central, athletically they give us everything they've got, but I always feel like we have the mental advantage. I feel like our kids are stay a little closer during the tough times of a match, more so than Adams Central does. I think is when the match gets really tough, we kind of break them.
And we just had to remember who we had to stop, who to focus on, and who to pick on. You know, there's always those people. So kind of just remembering what our coaches tell us. So
We knew that they were pretty scrappy and they usually are all over the place. And then their libero got hurt pretty early in the game, and then they kind of just gave up from there.
I had a lot of faith in that game. I knew we were going to win that game.
Minden, yes, hated it. Hate to play the same team too many times. It was gonna, and yeah, and it didn't feel like a sub-state game then either. And you want it to feel like that.
the first Minden game wasn't even close, was it? No. I remember that gave us a lot of confidence going into the district final. And I think after we beat Minden, I don't remember anyone really saying until the next day, oh, you're gonna play Minden again. So we were kind of like, who do we got, you know? Who are we gonna play? But then Minden again.
Yeah, it was just kind of like, oh, come on. And like we knew that their performance would be much better in the finals. And they have an outside, Jensen Rouse, who's very good. She's very athletic. And we knew that she would be set all the time. We knew that they're gonna step it up. So we have to step it up and we just have to play together.
It's not always easy to play a team twice. I mean, they're going to learn from that. They're going to respond because we played pretty darn good that first game against them.
It's kind of like, wah, like, all right, here we go. But at the same time, at least we knew that we were going to be able to handle them. You know, there wasn't like a question, you know, of what if. I mean, I didn't really foresee any issue with Minden, so.
And I felt like they had almost over-scouted us. They had scouted us so much that it was almost scary. And then as a coach, I'm thinking, well, maybe I should take these guys a little more seriously, but I am. I know what we've got. I know what they've got. We're going to win. Well, I try to prepare the team for what I think that coach is going to do for his team, who he's going to target. And so we had practiced a couple different serve-receive lineups because I thought they would target maybe Megan more off a serve-receive, and we just work on an alternate thing if they're doing what I think they might do. I also thought he would start the coach's daughter in 4 instead of starting her 1 because they got so far behind by the time she got to the front row. I was right. They started her in the front row. So it made things a little tougher on us because they did a couple things to make a better matchup.
I thought we played unstoppable. We didn't really let them get in at all, and we just had a lot of great energy, and we played really well, I thought.
Overpass, this will be a joust. Major got a piece of it, but Minden kept it alive. Major, quick set, left side, that's for Woods. Blasted to the corner. And the Whippets couldn't handle it. Lauren Woolman's bullet serve picked off in the back corner. Cross-court shot, set dug off the net nicely by Major. Drop shot by the Whippets won't go down. Woods trying to create, has to hit a little roll shot. Chance here for the Whippets. Rouse the big blast. Crusaders were ready. Major sets left side for Woods. The blast to the back line. Keene was there. Free ball chance over. Major sets the middle for Calvona, and she slams it home. Now Lauren Willman will serve for the set. Willman, the Crusaders team leader with ace serves with 41. Fires that towards the corner. Bump set right at the net. They cannot get it over. It was not a good pass, and Central Catholic withstands the assault by the Whippets and go on to win the first 27-25.
I don't know what they hear outside of the gym doors. You know, I remember one year we had won state, and I walked into the athletic director's office, and a couple of parents were there, and they go, "We don't think you'll lose a set this year." I thought, oh my gosh. And did we win state? I don't think we did. Don't remember, but I know for sure we lost some games. But it's just, if the kids are hearing things like that, which I think our parents are very realistic and very knowledgeable, so I don't think so. But you don't know what the kids in their class are saying.
To me, it was more of a relief. I would say, like, all right, like, we just had to get through this obstacle, and now here we go, state, like, year 2, let's go.
It's probably more of a relief. I don't know if that's bad to say, but it was nice to make it back again. I mean, that's your goal at the end of the year, make it to state and make a run, so it was the first step.
It did feel good, but it felt more like a relief knowing that we were just as good last year as we were this year. So I don't know, it felt pretty good, yeah. Personally, I was really focused on doing well at state, so I was just like, we just have to get to district finals, and then after that, we just have to get through the first and second rounds, and I don't know, I was more worried about state than I was districts, I guess.
Yeah, it was a big relief because we made it to state. That was one of our goals. I mean, it's kind of sad because I wasn't part of it, but then I was excited because I was like, okay, I can play at state. Like, I can finally play volleyball. And so I was excited about that.
I think we were celebrating, but in the back of the mind, we were like, oh, thank God, because like everybody's expecting this.
I think they were just, yes, we made it, and it wasn't always easy.
And Grand Island Central Catholic completes the sweep of Minden to take the C15 district title 27-25, 25-22, 25-15. Grand Island Central Catholic will return to the C1 state tournament starting Thursday in Lincoln.
We didn't set ourselves up very well. We could have, and we didn't set ourselves up well the year before either. I mean, when you play as many games as you play in volleyball, it's really hard not to slip up somewhere.
You take one game off, it could change the plans at the end of the season, and so I think that's lesson learned to all the younger girls. Every game matters.
I mean, we all wanted that state championship, and that was definitely a goal. We knew what we wanted, but like just those stupid little errors and the stupid games that we had to lose just kind of hurt us.
Knowing that we'd have to play Bishop Neumann, it would be really hard first round.
Well, I think we all kind of wanted St. Paul, but I mean, I felt like we could do it, like Bishop Neumann. I had faith.
I kind of had that thought. You know, going up into that day, I felt pretty good. I was like, they played out of their minds against us, and we still competed. It wasn't pretty, but we still competed. So that means we kind of know what to expect a little bit more. Our girls can do way better and maybe use that fire like they do with Lutheran, just that a little extra boost to compete more. And so I thought that we were going to at least have a good game and come out swinging. And I thought we were going to win. The whole week preparing for it, I thought we were going to win.
I was nervous, yeah. I mean, we lost to them once already, but like I said, I knew that I don't think we played to our full potential that game at conference when we played them. And we kind of, I think we were almost in shock at that outside. Like, she just kept slamming it down our throats, and there was just, our defense was different or something, I don't know, but it just wasn't, nothing was clicking that game. And she was clicking. She was on fire.
I was hoping that we would just like give it our all, go out there and do it one last time and be able to have that feeling of playing the finals again.
We're back once again in Lincoln at North Star High School. We are into the evening session, so to speak, of the C1 quarterfinals. Grand Island Central Catholic played such a brutal schedule at the beginning of the season. Lost to Lincoln Lutheran in the Central Catholic Triangular. Lost to Hastings St. Cecilia in the Lincoln Christian Triangular. Then lost to St. Cecilia again in the Holders Invitational after they had run off 10 straight wins. Crusaders came back with 5 wins in a row before Newman got them in the Centennial Conference Tournament. But then the Crusaders were able to get things back in a roll, and they have won 12 straight since, including the back-to-back wins over Minden in the sub-district final and then last week's district final. Crusaders making their 31st appearance in the state tournament overall, 9 championships, 9 runners-up, including last year's second-place finish to Wahoo. Crusaders coming in with a record of 30-4. Bishop Newman, meanwhile, is 27-3.
That first set, everything went right, and we were just on fire. And I feel like that was so fun. Like, that felt like the volleyball that we played last year. That felt like, it felt so normal and so natural. And we had the momentum. Like, I was like, well, we're gonna do this. Like, there's no way we're not gonna walk out of here going into day 2.
Katie Major serving for the Crusaders. Take that right to the back row. Center attack by Connor. Blocked back! And Willman filling the gap in the middle. The 6'1" senior got the long arms extended and gets the stop. Connor tries it again. Great dig along the back row by Lowry. McFarland hooks one back over. Free ball chance for the Cavaliers. Connor on the left side. Lauren Willman able to get on top of that. Deflection at the net. Woods pulls everybody off. Willman wants the back row. Basket and home. Central Catholic takes the lead. And it's a 4-0 run here for Grand Island Central Catholic. Right side drive by the Cavs, can't put it down. Major back set. This is McFarland, puts it through. Tough serve there. Crusaders are not going to get it. Oh, yes, they do. Somehow, Megan Wood took that shot back about 40 feet, and it turns into a point. Unbelievable. Central Catholic has put themselves in a very good position here in the first. And there's an ace serve by Lowry. Lowry tallies her first ace of the day. Third ace by the Crusaders, 23-13. Another ace! Major has to go a long way to get to that. Calvota hammers one towards the back line and put it right where it needed to go. Ellie Calvota basically disguised a little roll shot, and it caught the Cavs looking the other way. Central Catholic wins the first 25-14.
Sometimes I felt like, okay, we might have won that first set too easily. You know, now we got it grit. You know, we really got to bear down and get mentally tough here, because every point's going to count.
So then the next set we went in thinking we could destroy them just as well as we did the first set.
And then they started getting better.
And we didn't. So after that we just kind of fell apart.
Instead of rising up with them.
I think we were playing not to lose by then. We just really wanted to, I don't really know. We couldn't do anything, it felt like. We just couldn't get on any runs or anything.
Everything just kind of crashed.
I always have that in my heart that one thing's going to spark, you know, and I always just have that belief. And Cam was on fire. Cam was like double all-stater. I mean, she was, everything she touched was golden. And then the second set, they did a little bit better job of serving target. And honestly, Cam wore down a little bit. Had we had Cam all season, I think she'd have been fine, but she didn't have the physical training to withstand it. So I think she tired. And she wasn't jumping as well and wasn't quite as quick. And it wasn't just Cam. They stepped up. They got faster too.
When you beat a team that bad, you know that they're going to come back. Like, you know, if a good team is playing you at the state tournament, they're going to come back. And I don't know if it was kind of a mixture of them playing better and us kind of letting our guard down, like, well, that was easy. We don't need to work that hard. And then that same lack of confidence. I mean, last year we came from behind how many times? Like, behind, should have lost quite a few games, and our girls were like, okay, watch us. And they didn't have that confidence. They didn't have that swagger this year. And so then that's when you can kind of see the wheels slowing down a little bit, pumping the brakes a little bit more.
Oh, Lord almighty. It's just like the friggin' Wahoo game, the championship last year. We played great, and then it just... But I also think that we started playing not to lose. We did not play to win.
I think like our momentum during the first set was really good, and we got we had a lot of energy. And part of me thinks that we almost wasted all of our energy the first set because we played so well.
I think we got too comfortable, and then they started playing better, and we just didn't see it coming.
It felt like we were in the Wahoo game last year. Where I was sitting on the bench, and I was just like, oh my God, we're gonna lose. And I was trying not to cry because you just get really emotional knowing you're not gonna be going on to the next game.
Some of the sets were super close too. They pull ahead and we just couldn't side out or couldn't score. So I mean, it's tough.
I don't know. I mean, it was really close. It just kind of right at the end, it'd be 21-20, and they just kind of slip away from us.
I think it was fourth set, and I kind of knew it was not looking good.
I knew that when I realized we were doing the little things wrong. There was the little things that we spent so much time in practice doing, we just weren't doing, and it wasn't working out for us, and I knew it's not going to be in our favor.
Left side look for Jurgensmeyer. It's over. Callie Jurgensmeyer puts her 11th kill down, and the Cavaliers will move on to the semifinals of the C1 state tournament. Grand Island Central Catholic sees their run to try to return to the finals end in the quarterfinals as the Cavaliers pull out the 4-set win, 14-25, 25-22, 25-22, 25-20. The Crusaders see their season end with a record of 30-5. Bishop Neumann moves on with a record of 28-3.
Avery was the first, bawling, and so it made everyone just really sad, and it was just really hard to know it's over.
It definitely hit me in the locker room. I mean, Avery was a part of it. She was bawling, and then she made me sad, and then the seniors, we all got together, and it was sad.
After the game was really hard. It was kind of a blur, but I just remember hugging Jenna right outside the locker room, and I knew we lost, but it was even sadder that the seniors were leaving, and I was like, I don't want you to leave.
Wow, this is the last time we'll ever play volleyball with these girls, and it's just it's pretty sad.
It kind of took me a while to finally hit me that I was never probably gonna play volleyball again. It was pretty sad because I love volleyball. I love diving around and just giving it my all.
Well, I just think as a trio, their strengths were very compatible because they were different. They played different roles, and yet I didn't see. It would have been really easy for kids to get jealous of Megan, but they didn't. And maybe they did at times when they were younger, but they matured out of that. Megan works extremely hard, and she gives other people credit. And I always remember that about Megan. She's extremely hard worker. And Jenna Lowry is just a quiet leader that I could say she was a coach's kid. You could just tell. She'd been around sports, and I like that about her. She had that grit, so I really like that. And Cam just had an overzealous love of the game. I mean, she put all her eggs in the volleyball basket, and I don't always recommend to do that, but she did it, and it's going to work out for her. She's got her scholarship to College of St. Mary's, so it's going to work out for her. I just think all three of them are going to go on and be very successful people because of their people skills that they do have.
Thank you for everything that you've done. I think you've kind of solidified a new era at GICC. I think there was a little bit of a lull there for a while, and I think you guys kind of revived what GICC volleyball should be. So thank you.
Okay, here's the deal with our seniors. Jenna Lowry, probably the most underrated player I have. She is third on the all-time list on digs, third and fourth. So for the last 2 years, she had the same number of digs for the season. We had one less game this year, so she had 417 digs or something. Amazing. She was my best serve receiver. So we're losing one of our best defensive players, best serve receiver. All right? And she's steady Eddie. You know, she's not emotional. She's just, I always knew what I was going to get from her, and that's what I like about her. You got Megan. Okay, she's our horse. She has what? She beat the school record in number of kills in a career by over 300 kills. She beat Steph Brands by almost, it was 300 kills more. Okay, and she's probably one of our best defensive players. So you're losing that. You're losing your offensive, you're losing a great defensive player. Cam, we're losing our best blocker, okay, our tallest player. So these kids have to realize we're losing a lot, and we have a lot that we have to get better at. And they don't have to be as good as them, but they all have to get that much better to take their place.
Megan on the outside, Cam in the middle, and Jenna in that libero jersey. I mean, it's weird. It's gonna be super weird, and I mean, like I said, it's inevitable, but man, it's gonna be strange.
Just relax and have fun. Enjoy the time with your teammates because it won't last forever.
Definitely soak it in. There's so many memories that I wish I could go back to, and it goes by so fast. People don't realize how fast it goes, and it really does go by so fast.
It was a great 4 years. We'll never forget the memories and the friendships. Just when they say it goes fast, it really does go fast.
We improved in every single stat, and I think statistics tell a big story. The only stat that we didn't improve at was probably our serve percentage, and that was only down 1%, so it wasn't great. We even improved in our passing at the end of the season. We had better passing this year than we did last year, and that was almost hard for me to believe until I really looked at it. So we improved our hitting, even without Cam, our hitting efficiency, our blocking. We had more ace blocks this year. We played one less game and still had more kills, more blocks, more set assists than we did a year ago when we were runner-up. This is just one of those rare years that Class C1 was just so very strong, and everybody improved. So as we made our improvements, so did other teams. And when you go back and you say, okay, we were 33-3 a year ago, we were 30-5 this year, and people feel a little disappointed, but we had 30 wins. even with all these problems. So that's a testament to how good the team really was. Well, and here's a thing. I've been coaching a long time. I had a team one time, we were undefeated, and we got beat at district finals. And we didn't have wild cards in those years. We didn't get to go to state. And we'd beaten this team twice. And it was Grand Island Northwest. Now, of all things, that is the one that really makes you want to do that. Okay, but I remember that happened way, way early in my career, and I remember how heartbroken we were. But that team came back that next year. We ended up winning state. Another time we didn't make it, or didn't do as well as what we wanted to. We had a really tough loss. Next year we come back and win state. So I think sometimes that next year, I think kids, they know what can happen and they take care of it more. We start over next year, and we've got the same shots that we had this year, and so we always have that hope. Now our juniors come in, okay, we are going to be seniors now. Where's our leadership going to be, and are we going to get better, and are we going to make this fun for everybody?
They should feel no pressure on them all throughout high school because they're playing for just to play. Like, yes, you want to be a good competitor, but at some point you have to realize that you have to have fun too.